Next, we move on to the Sunday games, and we can start with Adam. You're going to review this one. It is the Indianapolis Colts travel to the AFC South rivals, Tennessee Titans. How did it go?
Well, Jamie, I'm trying to think of how I can review Sunday early kickoff like you've done TNF. It's just not possible. So I'm going to have to revert to notes, which is just so unprofessional of me. But on a serious note, the game started off at a fairly slow with both quarterbacks getting pressured. Titans then got the run game going with Derrick Henry as expected. And then that set up Ryan Tannehill to find former Indianapolis Colts receiver Chester Rogers. Then, to be fair, the Colts defense, as they did throughout the 2020 season, got them back into it thanks to Leonard's interception off Ryan Tannehill, which set up Hines' first touchdown of the season. Titans then responded with Nick Westbrook's first touchdown of the season. Then came another interception from the Tennessee Titans, this time by Moore, which then set up the Colts to bring them only one behind. So the Colts defense were giving their offense the opportunities. And they done it again for a third time when Tannehill then fumbled it. But the Colts just weren't capitalising enough. It was the only reason they were remotely in this game was because of turnovers. And then after that, when you're relying on your offense to then build on them turnovers, they just didn't simply have the answer. And then when McNichols got the touchdown right towards the end of the game, that sealed Cole's third defeat in a row. And I thought this was a really missed opportunity for Indianapolis. And under Carson Wentz, they're now 0-3. This one finished 25-16 to the Titans.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for the Colts. I think Wentz has now lost with his 7 games straight since start of 2020. So yeah, it's really not looking good. They thought he'd help turn the tide, but it just shows you Philip Rivers was just that good. But let's be honest, what do the Colts actually have offensively, weapon-wise?
There isn't really anything there.
No.
You look at it, they had that one period
with his merch. That's what
with his lovely goggles. Great. Yeah, check out
with his goggles and his t-shirts. They've got Blankenship kicking field goals.
www.blankenship.store, I think it is.
Have a good push for something that's not even us. Yeah. But from the Titans' point of view, it seems like things are back to normal. That once the O-line butt their ideas up, getting a decent fullback in, that enable Henry to make the big runs. And that's really, it was another 140-yard plus day. And although he really only got the 2-pointer in terms of the score, with such big rushing yards, that's what sets up Tannehill to find the other receivers and basically players around him. And in that division, the AFC South, that despite a dreadful week 1 performance against the Cardinals, you expect Titans to be comfortable. Yeah, that's it. I think that this is probably the one thing that would be concerning against the better teams is that the Titans are still making mistakes and turning over the ball. Yeah. And you find that against the better teams, they will get punished for that. They'll get punished 100%. And the Colts were doing that for a little while, but that was just purely just to keep up. And you're literally relying on your defense to make stops every play whilst your offense fails to get going. And that's just a recipe that's not going to work against a dreadful team. Literally like the Jets, the Texans, it could work because they just can't get anything going offensively. But against the Titans that just have still the number 1 pure running back in the NFL, it's always going to be a losing cause.